Well, you got to guard everything. They make you guard every blade of the grass, and you know this, Flowers. When you have tight ends that can get open, you got wide receivers that are speedy and have great run after the catch. That's the Kansas City Chiefs. And then Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid do such a good job of putting their players in position to have success offensively. And Eric Bieniemy is top notch. That's what makes it tough. They just got weapons all over the field, and all of them can score when they get the ball in their hands.
After the Chiefs had their record-breaking offense last year, third highest scoring offense in NFL history, some of the narrative going into this season was, well, the offense is going to regress. Like there's not an example in NFL history of one of these great offenses being equally or close to as great the following year, except for you guys, who did it not 1 year in a row, not 3 years in a row. You guys were 1 or 2 in the league in all the major offensive categories, most notably points. Right. What do you think led to the sustainability for you guys, and how does that mirror what the Chiefs have been able to do year over year?
I think continuity. I think health also helps as well. And then they got Patrick Mahomes, who is really, really a good football player and can throw the ball all over the yard, can make every throw. But I would say continuity, the consistency in the way that they do things, the consistent message that Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy spills out through these guys offensively. So I think those are the keys to the success that the Kansas City Chiefs are having. And then the offensive line. The offensive line, I think back to the days of the greatest show on turf. Orlando Pace, Adam Timmerman, Grudadorio, Tommy Newton. Those guys gave us time to have those long count passes down the field, and then they gave running lanes for Marshall and our running backs too to get off in the running game. So it starts, I think, definitely with the offensive line giving them an opportunity to be aggressive offensively.
Like Nick mentioned, you guys had weapons, the Chiefs had weapons. How do you compare this Chiefs team to the greatest show on turf? Do you think they're right there where you guys was, or it'll take a couple years so they can
haven't won one yet.
Yeah.
So they have to win one.
Come back in 3 weeks, but no problem.
But I will say this: when you watch them, and I remember having conversations with people in St. Louis, they would say, "Well, when the game starts, we're right there in our seats. But if I got up to go get a drink, or if I got up to get popcorn, and I come back, you guys already scored 2 or 3 touchdowns already." And that's the same thing with the Kansas City Chiefs. If you move too quickly away from the TV set, you come back, they may have scored 2, 3, 4 touchdowns. They are just that explosive.
At the beginning of the season, I think we thought the Chiefs' only weakness was their defense, and that would be the one unit holding them back. But over the course of the last couple of weeks and over the season, the defense has sort of caught up, leading them to where they are now heading into this weekend. Is there a weakness on this Chiefs team that concerns you at least a little bit? Maybe not facing the Titans, but perhaps moving towards maybe the 49ers.
Well, I would say definitely against the Titans, they got to be able to tackle. They got to be able to get Derrick Henry down on the ground. So do you load the box? And now you got A.J. Brown and those guys Sharp and those guys on the perimeter with one-on-one opportunities. And A.J. Brown is a beast. Yeah. As a rookie, he can get down. They got to figure out how they want to play them for sure. But they are a talented team defensively as well as offensively. I would attack their secondary, in my opinion. I would go after their secondary to see if those guys can cover on a consistent basis.
One other big distinction, though, between this Chiefs unit and what you guys had is one of your guys' superstars was a running back. Yeah. And Marshall Faulk, obviously he's a great maybe the greatest pass-catching back ever, but you also could just hand it to him if you wanted to. You guys didn't do a ton of that, but you knew you could. The Chiefs are doing this without even thinking about the run. I think one of the things that keyed the explosion against the Texans, was because they were down so big early, they had to abandon. They couldn't waste time with these silly handoffs. Just chuck the ball downfield. Do you think the lack of a running game could, in the Super Bowl, where you have 2 weeks to prepare, the opposition, they are going to try to find a way to take away either Tyreek or Kelsey, the lack of having even a Marshall Faulk light, they got nothing close to it, could be a big problem for them.
And Marshall Faulk, too, by the way, was really good in pass pro, too. He never came off the field, and it gave us an opportunity to make those long count passes that I was talking to you about. But, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think as the Chiefs continue to go, they're going to have to try to establish something of a run game. Because say if Patrick Mahomes is off in this game, or if they get to the Super Bowl and he's off. Well, normally when your quarterback has some struggles, you can get back to the running game to kind of get things going, kind of settle things down, get back to the running game. The screen game also helps as well. But I think going forward, they're going to have to establish something of a run game, particularly going against these Titans, because the Titans get it and they get up and they run that ball and they convert on first down. They get first downs and they just eat up clock. But, yeah, to answer your question, they're going to have to establish some type of run game going forward, in my opinion.
Torry, you mentioned you'll take advantage of the Chiefs' corners on the outside. I mentioned, a couple of days ago that Tannehill needs to have 300 yards passing. If he lights it up on the outside with them loading the box, do you think the Titans have a chance to win this game? Because Nick gives the Titans no chance to win this game.
You're wrong, Nick. But, yeah, I give them a strong chance to win again. And the reason why is because their formula, their style of play works. It travels. It works in the National Football League. The last 2 weeks, they went on the road. They played great defense, and they've been able to run the football. And then Tannehill has made the throws that he's needed to make. And more importantly, he hasn't turned the football over.
No, he hasn't. He's done, and he was excellent during the regular season when they were asking him to do more. And in the playoffs, he has 15 completions.
Yep.
But it's because they haven't asked him to do it. It's because Derrick Henry is just crushing people every week.
And they have a great runner. They have a great offensive line too. I know. I mentioned offensive line. They got a really good offensive line.
But can you ask Derrick Henry to do what he's done the last couple of weeks? Can you ask him to be the guy that's going to go out there? Because who knows what you're going to get from Tannehill? We didn't see it last week. We haven't really seen it.
Can he do it 4 weeks?
Yes, absolutely.
300 yards.
I'm giving him the ball. I'm giving Derrick Henry 30
Same amount
plus,
of carries?
no doubt. Because if you look at him over the last couple of weeks, he doesn't look tired to me.
He gets stronger.
He gets stronger as he goes. And normally, most of the time, bigger guys like that, they get stronger as the game goes. And I think he's ready for this moment. He actually likes that it's on his shoulders. So I'm giving it to him 30-plus times. Then Coach Vrabel, been a defensive guy, understanding what it takes to play defense, understanding how the run game impacts games. I expect Derrick Henry to have 30-plus carries in this game.
Okay, I don't want to talk about the Titans anymore. I want to ask you this, because there aren't many human beings alive who have been a key part of an offense like this. And I want to know from your experience, did you ever take the field and realize almost instantly, oh, we can dishearten these guys? If we go out and quick strike them, they're going to say, all right, too fast. It's just too fast. Because that's the other element about the Chiefs' offense is it's like you guys, you can't coach speed, and the speed's overwhelming. So could you feel that sometimes?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That these guys are mentally, I don't want to say scared, but we punch them in the mouth and they're going to fold.
Well, you can't simulate the style of play in which we played in any practice. And it's the same thing for the Kansas City Chiefs. No one has that kind of speed consistently on their roster. So they give you trouble for sure. But, yeah, we had guys changing shoes in the first quarter. We had guys changing shoes at halftime, trying to keep up with the pace in which we played. And when you watch the Kansas City Chiefs, they are very, very explosive. They can get on top of you pretty quickly. Hardman, as well as Tyreek Hill, and then we talked about Travis Kelce. They have a ton of speed on the
Sammy
perimeter.
Watkins is
Sammy
out there.
Watkins.
Damian Williams is not even a big part of the offense. I mean, he runs a 4-4. They just have 4-4. It's like you guys. They have 4-4 all over the place.
Well, when you look at football, the way it's been played now in the National Football League, as well as in college, it's about spreading you out and it's about speed. So can you guard that speed? It's tough to guard it. And then, like I said, when they get it in their hands, they're even special after the catch.
Torry, you were just named as a Pro Football Hall of Fame finalist.
Yes.
What kind of honor is that for you? How did it feel to just see that you're right there?
Oh man, it's a tremendous honor. I'm representing the National Football League.
Sure.
And I'm now talked about amongst the elite, the best that ever played the game. And for me, all I ever wanted to do was play football, was to play sport, and to play it and play it well and to be good at it. And so now the work that I put in, the 11 years that I put in the National Football League is now being kind of being validated now.
Sure.
Being a Pro Football Hall of Fame finalist for the class of 2020. We got a great class. Reggie Wayne, Isaac Bruce, John Lynch. Got a lot of guys in this class, and I'm sitting right there with them.
And you and I have talked about this last year when you came on the radio show, and the finalists hadn't been announced, and I was certain. I wasn't certain if you were going to get in, but I was certain you were going to be a finalist. And you weren't a finalist last year, and I couldn't believe it. And this year, I'm glad you are finally a finalist. But I also know how much it means to you, and not just you, the people who helped you get to validation. Not that you need further validation, but for those other people that become Hall of Famers or Hall of Fame finalists as it is alongside you, correct?
Correct. Like, when I heard the news, and when Mr. Baker called me, I missed the call. I was coming home from the office and I missed the call. I'm like, wow, how did I freaking miss this call? But anyway, when I actually talked to him, I thought about all the folks in Gibsonville, North Carolina, where I'm born and raised. I thought about James Smith and Roy Williams, who were our directors of our recreation league, driving us around, taking us to games, baseball, basketball, football, and how overwhelmed and the joy that they probably were feeling at the moment. Thought about my high school, thought about my college at NC State. All of those things come about. And what this is allowing me to do is kind of replay my career all over again. And I played with a bunch of great dudes, man. Great examples, great coaches that challenged me, great teammates that challenged me and encouraged me to go out and play at a high level. So this is it's for me, and I'm in the pro football finalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but this is for all of the folks that helped me get to this point as well.
That's great.
Well, good luck to you, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure, man. Keep doing your thing, bro.